Hello everyone, welcome to this session. I'm Rinku Sharma and I'm into IT industry since 15 years now. Today's session we will focus mostly on banking fundamentals, but there are two parts to it. One is mostly focusing on the domain side, like why we need a domain knowledge and where it can be used, how to gain business knowledge or domain knowledge, and then followed by maybe we can take some example since it is related to banking. So we will take banking sector and banking industry. We can take that example and then see how we can gain knowledge on that. So I will cover the basics about the banking sector so that you get an overall idea on this completely. So, this is the schedule for today's discussion, wherein, as I mentioned, we will talk about what is domain knowledge, why do we need this domain knowledge, and where it can be used. Then, the second part will be on the banking industry. So, very basic things we will cover, such as what is banking industry, what are the different segments that we have, and what are the key roles played by the banking industry. All right. So, first and foremost, what is domain knowledge? Nowadays, you might be listening a lot about the domain knowledge, and I would say, being in an IT industry, I would say that it is really, really important for a successful project. Whether you are in any industry, whether you are in IT industry, you are in manufacturing industry, or any industry, domain knowledge is very important. So as we go through various slides, you will also understand why it is very important. So first thing is, what is domain knowledge? So domain knowledge is understanding, ability, and information that applies to a specific topic or your any profession in which you are, or maybe in any activity that you do. So it can be applied to any particular profession, like if you are from a medical profession or if you are from the banking profession, you can apply your domain knowledge. So what is a domain knowledge? Basically, it is your ability to understand a particular domain and gather as much as information out of it and apply that information into your activity or in your profession. So this is the main information that I want to give it to you, but how it is useful, so and how you can achieve it. So first is gaining detailed knowledge of a industry segment. Whichever industry you want to target to understand or gain domain knowledge, you can learn or gain knowledge through various sources, and you have and get a deep understanding of that industry segment. Gaining knowledge of its business and also on the operational side, because nowadays in business there are so many, you go to any business, any like for example banking side, or maybe if you go to the retail side, you have so many opportunities in the business, you have so many challenges into that business, you have so many risk that is there in that particular business. So if you know the domain, you also know these things. What are the uh, risk, what are the threats, what are the opportunities for this particular business. So if you understand this thing well, then you can take an action accordingly. If you know the risk, you know how you can mitigate this risk, correct? So you should know all these points, and how you can know this by gaining knowledge. Environment, whichever industry you go, nowadays it's so competitive, so you should also know what the other competitor of mine is doing something different, which helps him to evolve his business so fast. So you should also have an eye on this competitive environment. And like for example, I would give an example over here. For example, mobile industry, mobile phone that is there right nowadays, it's so competitive. Every now and then If iPhone launches a specific feature, immediately you will find another feature released by Samsung, another feature by Oppo. So like that, all these companies, they come and releases these features one after the other, and they try to add something additional when they launch it. So this makes a particular industry or business very competitive. And how they can achieve it? By understanding the domain, what is that is the requirement from the user side. And you as a business analyst, if you are, suppose you are planning to become a business analyst, so obviously you need to have the domain knowledge. If you have to have the domain knowledge, what is very important for you is to understand the user requirement. Correct? So if you understand the user requirement very well, you can provide solutions to them. So that's why these informations are required. So you should know what is there in your competitive environment, and then if a question is asked by the customer, you can easily answer to the solution. Now moving to the next slide, why do we need domain knowledge? Domain knowledge refers to the real world aspects of your solution. So it provides the real world. There are so many problems in the real world. So you can provide a solution to your customer if you understand their problem well. The business domain informs your requirements and acceptance criteria for the system. You can also tell to the customer that these are your requirements, which I have understood it. Please let me know what is the acceptance criteria based on which this particular prototype can be developed or this system can be developed. And you can also provide some suggestions to them on a very high level, so that you can show them the process that it will go through, so that ultimately you will achieve this particular output out of it. And those things can be confirmed by the customer that yes, this is what I need as a final output. So it will help you to have these discussions with your clients. Now, where we can use all this domain knowledge, as I mentioned, it can be used in various sectors, right from the healthcare to military to finance to banking to retail, whatsoever is possible. In every industry, every segment, you can use this. Then, how do you become a domain SME? This is very important for all of you to understand. SME, since I have used this abbreviation, I would like to explain that SME is subject matter expert. Somebody who is expert in that specific topic is referred as SME. And it is not that easy to tag somebody as SME. That person can be tagged as SME only if he has enough knowledge to answer all the questions asked by anybody. Maybe you can say somebody who is expert, having a huge years of experience working in that industry practically, not only theoretically. That person is tagged as a subject matter expert. Now, how, with this mindset, let's investigate the ways in which we can increase our domain knowledge in the project, and also we can become a SME. So, first important point is research what knowledge to build. So, first of all, it is very important for you to know which sector you want to choose and where you have interest, or maybe it might be because of your interest, or it might be because you have some work, professional work that is assigned to you, or project work, and you need to develop that domain knowledge. So, you can research from various sources. For example, if you are into a banking domain, pick up any private banking domain knowledge, and then you try to understand the end to end process of it. How does the process flow? How the things move from one area to another area? What are the prerequisite, and then what are the different approvals required? So if you know the flow diagram or the process flow from end to end, then you can explain to the customers also quite well. Now, how do private banks earn money? What are the business models? So, these questions should come to your mind when you are trying to build your knowledge. What are the top private banks? So, and then you create a glossary or kind of database in which you can have all these important words used and where it can be used. So in that way you can build your own knowledge bank. Okay. Then by listing down all these specific knowledge areas or questions you want to answer, you can slowly over a period of time build up domain knowledge in a very very structured manner. So this is the first step. Second step is ask questions. But just asking question is not that easy. You should know whom to ask, what question to ask, and when to ask. This is very important to have an idea, holistic idea about your knowledge. And then you record all these queries, whatever you have collected from various sources, and prepare your own FAQ database. All right. And third point is sign up for a course. So one of the best ways to pick up domain knowledge is to sign up for a good course where you can find multiple options. For example, you can sign up for a course with Techcanvass, as just now mentioned by Brajesh, that they have so many courses available. So if you really want to gather some knowledge on a specific course, you can avail that, sign up for that course. It will help you to learn about the specific area, whatever, and also help you by the end of the course to have a good stead to join that particular industry. You can also take a specific degree for that matter from any university, and you can apply that knowledge for your professional career. And you can also attend industry events, like there are so many industry events that happens now and then, and you can also attend to get a practical knowledge about it. You can build a knowledge base, you can join a community, you can find a mentor. So in this way you can gain knowledge. Now we have understood till now about the domain, how we can collect the domain knowledge and things like that. Now we will take example of the banking industry, and we understand how it works. So, what is banking industry? The banking industry in India has historically been one of the most stable systems globally, despite global upheavals. We all know that banking industry in India is a very old industry, and it has shown so many different phases. There are so many times when banking industry is at the top, and sometimes it is at a very low. And it is about, like, we have also seen so many banks getting closed because of bankruptcy. So it is, even because of this tough times seen by the banking industry, it is still considered as the most stable system because of its the structure. It has the, I will also talk about the structure of the banking industry and how it is managed. So all these factors and how it accommodate all the changes, all the challenges which is posed to the banking industry, how it takes up those challenges and rebound back with different facilities providing to the customers that help it to sustain all this instability. So what is a bank? Bank is an institution that deals in money. That is very important, because an institution that deals with money and accept deposits and make loans and derive a profit from the interest paid by the customers. It also provides other financial services. So together, giving so many facilities to the customers, an institution which deals mostly with money and other services is termed as a bank. Now, I was talking about the structure of the banking industry. For first and foremost, it is headed by, the banking industry is headed by Reserve Bank of India. We all know that, and this is the regulatory bank, and this has two segments. One is scheduled and unscheduled. So mostly in schedule we have commercial and cooperative. This is a very high level division that they make. Mostly if you see in day to day life, we are more inclined towards the commercial side, and which is categorized further into public, private, foreign, RRB, which is regional rural banks. So these are the categorization of the commercial bank. On the other side, we have cooperative bank, which is further classified as rural and urban. So these cooperative banks are mostly it is a kind of, bank where mostly it is created with the purpose to provide support to the farmers, and maybe to the fisheries people, those who earn money from fisheries, from farming. So maybe for the rural development of that sector, they create these cooperative banks with people, maybe two three people, they come together and create a bank in which they deal money with only with the members who are there as a part of this bank, as a customer. Okay, but on the other side, we have this commercial banks where we have public banks like State Bank of India, State Bank of Mysore, then Canara Bank, and all those banks are termed as public bank, which is governed by the government of India. And then we have the private bank, wherein we have banks like HDFC, ICICI Bank, which are private bank, which is managed also by government partially, but also by the, it has its own owner who also manages this banks. Okay, then we have third category of bank, which is a foreign bank, and mostly these are like, Citibank. Then we have Dutch Bank. Why these are known as? Then we have ANZ Bank. These banks are governed both by RBI and also headquartered outside the country. So that's why it is termed as foreign bank. Then we have rural, regional rural bank, which is mostly on the state level for the regional development, and they help for the upliftment of the rural society. So these are also termed as Indian scheduled commercial bank, operating at the regional level in different states of India. Okay, so this is how it is categorized, and you can see that public sector bank there are around 27, private sector banks are around 21, foreign banks are 49, and regional rural banks are approximately 56. Okay, then we go to the next slide, which is functions of financial markets. Now, this is something which we, before going through this, we should understand that what is a financial market. Financial market is a, because see, this is a market. What is a marketplace? Marketplace is something where we do exchange of goods and services between two parties. And when we term this word financial market, it means some transaction which talks mostly about the finance, which is related to cash, or maybe something which is related to only money matters, or something like like shares. So all these kind of commodities, if we include together in a market, it is termed as financial market. Now, what are the different functions of financial market? So we have price determination. So the financial market performs the function of price discovery of the different financial instruments. As I mentioned, there can be different financial instruments which are traded between the buyers and the sellers. So there are two parties. One is the buyer and the seller who is trying to maybe sell or purchase the instrument in the financial market. And the prices at which the financial instruments trade in the financial market are determined by the market forces. We all know that there are two important market forces. One is the demand and the other is supply. So there is always a demand and supply chain in the market. More is the demand, more is the supply, right? So based on that, the prices of the financial instrument which is being traded in the financial market are decided. So the financial market provides the vehicle by which the prices are set for both financial assets which are issued newly, or for the existing stock also. If you means, if you are launching a specific share in the market for the first time, even for that you can set a price. Or even if there is a selling of a particular share in the market, so that is considered as an existing stock. So for that also price can be tagged. Second is the funds mobilization. Along with the determination of the prices, which we do in the first step, for any financial instruments, the required return out of the funds invested by the investor is also determined by participants in the financial market. So it helps in motivating the persons seeking the funds is dependent on the required rate. Because if you don't sell and purchase your funds, then it is not helpful for for the economy of the country, because funds are being stabilized at one place. Always, to make the economy grow, you should always mobilize your funds, keep selling and purchasing the funds. So that is one point. Then third is the liquidity. It is very important in the market to have the flexibility of liquidating your assets. The easier it is for liquidating your assets, the better you get chances to have a maybe person who wants to buy the shares from the market. If it is difficult or tedious to liquidate your shares or assets, then people, there will not be much buyer to it. So it is always important to have a good liquidity approach in the market. Then the next point is risk sharing. Financial market also performs the function of the risk sharing, as the person who is undertaking the investments are different from the person who are investing their funds, right? So in those investments, the risk is being shared between these both parties, the person who is selling or and the person who is purchasing it. So in financial market, you also get an option of risk sharing and easy access. It should be easily accessible for both the parties. Then it will be helpful for financial market, because anybody can sell, anybody can purchase. If it is not so tedious process that you go to different channels to sell or purchase your shares, for example. So it will be tedious, so people will not opt for it, right? So it should be easy for any users to utilize this financial market. Then reduction in transaction cost. This is also very important, because even people keep on selling and purchasing commodities and items in the market. So if you have so many transaction cost attached to each and every transaction that you make, then it will be very costly for anybody who is uh, participating in this. So it is very important and very essential that the transaction cost should be reduced. And finally is about the capital formation. So financial market provide the channel through which the new savings of the investors flow in the country with aid in the capital formation of the country. So finally it help in booming the economy of the country, because a capital has been formed because of all these factors. The capital has been formed in the financial market, which impact the economy of the country. Okay, so I hope you understood like how these functions is essential for the financial markets development. Now, similarly, same thing has been explained on the right hand side. If you see, I have shown one person, Mr. X, who is trying to buy. As this is a market, right? So there are two parties. One party, Mr. X, who is trying to sell, and the other party is the company from where he is trying to purchase. So he is holding around 500 shares at $50 per share. And now after holding this shares, he has some requirements, because of which he wants to sell off part of his share maybe. So for him as a person in the financial market, it's very important that he want to basically do mobilization of his funds. See, he is holding 500 shares, but if he keep on holding those shares for just not utilizing it, or is not mobilizing his funds, it is of no use, right? You have to rotate your money in the market. So maybe he want to purchase some other shares, can give better opportunity, much more income, much more profit to him. So he want to sell maybe some funds which is not performing so well in the market. And so he has thought of this, he has taken this decision. Okay, so what he will look for now, third point is liquidity. So he will opt for the liquidity. Now he has two choice. One, that a particular share in the market has liquidity function, and other option is maybe he doesn't have a liquidity function to the item he want to sell in the market. So what is the consequence? If you see here, with liquidity function, it is easier to buy and sell their securities. Anybody will be opting for it, right? But if there is no liquidity function, then it is difficult to buy and sell their securities, so there will not be much buyers over here. So this would be a challenge for Mr. X. If somebody is there to purchase his share, so eventually there will be a risk sharing happening between Mr. X and the person who wants to buy the share. And also it is easy access, because liquidity is there, immediately he will get the money and he can purchase the rest of the shares from any other company. Also, if there is a reduction in the transaction cost, it will help both the parties, because there will not be much cost involved in it. Finally, it will create a capital formation in the financial market, helping both the members, Mr. X and the party who has done this transaction. So you see how this all these factors help in evolving the financial market. Okay, so moving to the next slide, which is about the banking products. Banking products are mostly in a very high level is categorized into two parts. One is fee based and other is fund based. After that, if you go further down, it can be subdivided into retail and corporate. Retail are the customers like you, me, and all these people, those who go to the bank on daily basis or monthly basis, have their own set of requirements. And this other sector is the corporate sector, where we have these big companies, giants, who deal with bank. They have their own set of requirements. So that's why it is further subdivided into retail and corporate, because their requirements are totally different. But if you see in a very high level, it can be further classified only between fee based and fund based. So let's understand what is this difference all about. So see here, I have already categorized all these fee-based products or services into two categories, retail and corporate. Here you can see retail fee-based products, and on the right-hand side, it is corporate. These are the items which are categorized under retail, because as a customer, I'm not from corporate, right? I'm a customer. So if I go to bank, what maximum I would expect from the bank, it's maybe I want a card like credit card or debit card. I might require ATM service. So there are both the things together. You can find here, like, some are the products, some are the services which is provided by the bank. For example, I want a foreign inward outward remittance service, or maybe a fund transfer. I might also look for maybe bill payment or safe in a bank. I want to rent out a locker in the bank, or maybe online trading. These are been taken care by the retail. On the other hand, if you see, if it is a company who has their own set of requirements from the bank, like cash management services, or maybe foreign exchange services, or maybe letter of credit, so those services and products are provided by the banks. Now, what does bank get out of this products and services? They can get fees for any of the services or products provided to the customer, or they will have their nominal charges. You can say any terminology, maybe you can say it as a fees or you can say it as a charges, but finally this is what bank will attain from the customer, whether it is retail or corporate. And again, between retail and corporate, the charges will differ because they have a different set of services. So this is about the fee, because they get a fee in terms of charges, bank. Now, what is about fund based? So in fund based, in the retail side, we have different kind of loans which is provided by the bank, like personal loan, vehicle loan, housing loan, and they all these loans are having a different interest rate, which is paid by the customer. And that is the main, you can say, income of the bank from the customer. This is on the retail side. On the corporate side, we have working capital finance, bill discounting, short term finance. So these are the services provided by the bank to the corporate, and they in return earns the interest from them. All right, so these are the products which bank can sell and attain profit or income. Now, what are the on a very high level, what are the different functions which is being taken care by the bank in different sectors? Like, We already discussed about the loan sector, where we have personal loan, vehicle loan, home loan, business loan, gold loan, any kind of loan you can find into one sector. Then we have something called savings and current account, which we all deal with bank. We everybody here has an account, either it is in savings account or a current account. It has its own fees or maybe charges that they can take it from us as from the customers. Then we have facility provided by the bank on the fixed deposit. Now we also started moving towards the internet side, so we have the mobile banking privilege, or the for the user accessibility or the ease of user, they are providing these facilities, so it has helped bank. So if you remember, in the very first slide I was talking about the challenges and risk that can come to any industry. So this is one of the example here. If you see that there were challenges where people earlier used to go to bank, or maybe to the every time anything for a small amount of transaction, if they have to make, even for unknowing that what is my account details, how much fund I have in my account, every customer used to go to the bank, or the branches I would say rather, to collect this information. It's so hectic even for the customer as well as for the bank employees to deal with so many customers in a day. Now, to ease the life of both the parties, bank have adopted this mobile banking, in which it helps the customer so much that from the tip of the mobile phone, or from the internet, or from the laptop, anything you can online, you can do fund transfer, you can do so many things, you can even open your FDs and so many other services, which whatever is possible, maximum things they have tried to provide services using internet. So this is something which they have considered a challenge as an opportunity, and tried to make this banking sector more stable. All right. So, and then other things like customer care and the debit and credit cards, these are the different functions which is provided by bank to the customers. Also, I have provided some links where you can go and study on these different areas of the banking domain. As I mentioned, that in banking domain there are you need to build up basically your database, your FAQs, so that you have enough knowledge, and then you can start working on any project. You can go and understand the requirement of the client. When you deal with the clients, you have to first understand their requirement. So to understand the requirement, you yourself should know what questions I can ask them, which area I can ask them, what are their pain points, why are they asking for these questions, why do they want to develop this thing in their project. So if you know all these things, then only you can ask questions, valid questions to the customer, and also in the same time provide solution to them. It might also happen that they ask you for a solution, and because you are an SM or you are a SME on in that area, you can provide even better solution to them that will help you to progress in your project and make your project a successful project. So that's what I would like to end over here. Thank you everyone for joining this.